diasporas are not left out. That's why Diaspora Talk is back on your screens on KMTV.
In fact, the United Party is not cohesive. Be it social, political, economic, and other issues affecting Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
I did not expect to even make it to Hollywood.
Joan Cyrus McGee and Nathan Charles every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on KMTV, Facebook, and YouTube.
I want to be arrested in the midst of my people.
As they discuss the issues blending the voices from Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
The Liberian Business Association in the diaspora should be used as a vehicle for economic development in Liberia because no country can develop without a diaspora impact.
For sponsorship, call cell numbers 612-806-5896, 816-433-3979, or better still, email us at usakmtv@gmail.com.
Diaspora Talk, don't miss out. When the issues of Liberia hit the news.
What is it that we, the Liberian people, want?
The Liberian communities in the diasporas are not left out.
Good day, wherever you're following us up from today, and welcome to Diaspora Talk on KMTV. Today is August 9, 2023, and we're broadcasting live here from Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. My name is Joanne Adeproud Sie, and I'm here today in studio with my colleague Nathan Charles.
It's a pleasure to be here, Joanne. As you know, it's a pleasure to be here. As you know, we are here making things right.
Yeah, right. I know we have a series of issues. We have series of issues we're going to be talking about today in studio. We're going to be looking at Liberia's campaign process.
See, our campaign process. Oh, you move yourself from there now.
Well, okay, our campaign process. I'm a Liberian anyway, so you're right. Well, we're going to be looking at our entire campaign process with Liberians and the campaign process in Liberia and the diaspora as well. And then we're going to talk about something else too that's been on our mind about the recent arrest of the Sierra Leonean national in Liberia, their former police chief. But firstly, we're going to talk about the entire campaign process. I think that's the number one thing right now. Liberians are eager to go to elections, and Liberians we've seen a lot of positive feedbacks from Liberians everywhere, whether Liberia or the diaspora, with different issues and different mindsets, and different people have different ideologies about
agenda.
Yes, and what they want to see, what should be happening this term. And I have been thinking a lot about a lot of different things. I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and she's here in the US, and she said she bought a ticket to go to Liberia to vote.
A one-way ticket?
Not one way. Anyway, I was actually proud that a Liberian here in the diaspora is passionate enough to want to, to have interest in Liberia's politics and want to go to vote, using her own money to buy a ticket and go. Because I've seen people go to Liberia to participate in an election, but they've only gone there because a particular candidate who they're interested in have offered to pay for them and, to go and vote for them. But using your own money and buying a ticket, it means that you're passionate about a particular person whom you believe can make a change in Liberia's politics. And so as our elections draw near, I know this is August, September, October elections. I've seen a lot of Liberians in the streets campaigning for different people, not just for the presidency, but the representative seats as well. And I've seen a lot of young people whom are interested in contesting now. And the thing is, it's politics, the only thing that's in Liberia at the moment that a lot of people are interested, because I see almost everybody wants to be a politician at this time. Everybody wants to be a representative, a senator, a minister. Well, I shouldn't go down to the ministerial positions because those are appointed positions, but those elected positions, I've seen a lot of people that I know personally whom are contesting in districts that, a lot of them live in group. And it's like this. Why is everyone interested in politics, firstly?
So let me just start. I found few proverbs,
Mhm.
and they are all relating to our situation in Liberia. The
Yeah.
first one say, "If you do not have control over your mouth,
Okay.
you will not have control over your future."
That's a good one.
Okay. He who has ears to hear, let
Let him,
him
yeah,
hear.
I know that one.
The other one says, uh, if you do not vote,
Hmm.
if you do not vote,
Yeah,
you get the government you deserve.
exactly.
And if you do,
Hmm.
you never get the results you expected.
Hmm.
That's another one.
That's
I will go
deep.
in the
That's
in the
deep.
details.
So, well, hold on. You said if you do not vote, you get
Yes,
the government
you
you
deserve.
deserve, and if you do,
If you do, you never get the
so
results
you
you
expect it.
expected.
That's
Mainly
deep.
in Africa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't think it's just Africa alone. It happens a lot of other places, but well, since we're concerned about Africa, right now, you're right. A lot of people before voting this the current leadership we have in Liberia, a lot of people had high anticipation. They had high expectations from this government, and I do not want to say those people got disappointed, but I've heard from a lot of them that they're changing their minds this
Changing
time
gear.
around. Yeah, and they're going for someone else. But with over, I think it's about 60 persons, 16 candidates. Hold on.
20
Tw- the
presidential,
presidential
little over
candidates,
20.
20,
Yeah,
20
little
presidential
over
candidates,
20.
yes. And right now in Liberia, it's the thing is, how are so many people interested in this particular seat? Like, why do they think at this point they can all make a change? Because right before this time, and honestly, I can tell you, I haven't even heard of most of them until recently. And I was just looking at the registration and those who are contesting, and I was going through a few of their names, and I'm like, I haven't even heard of this person. Like, who's going to vote for this
The
person?
more you live, the more you
The
learn.
more you learn. And in Liberia right now, we have a whole lot of things that needs to be changed. And with everybody wanting to be a politician and everybody wanting to be a president, currently we have only a few who we can call contenders, that we know this person have followers, this person have people that are going to vote for he or she. But at this point, with everyone that's contesting, why aren't some of them, coming together to say, you know what, we think this person is more competent. Let us put our hands behind this person. Let us put our hands around this person and carry them. If instead everybody wants to be the president, and I was watching a video of our current president speaking. I think he was preaching at a church this past Sunday, and a lot of people were saying, why is the president abandoning his work and his preaching? But this is not new in Liberia. This our president is somebody who's been passionate about this thing, and it's not just the preaching. He's done a thousand other things that we've seen. He gone to a studio to record a song. He's gone to church to preach, and he's like
Rabbi man.
he's live, and he's like this diversified person. And Liberians at this time, this coming elections, this coming presidential term, is this what we want? Is this whom we want to carry again? Because I know a lot of Liberians have said that they think he's done well. They think he implemented a lot of policies that they're interested in, and they believe that he's done exceedingly well, and they want to maintain him at this time. But also, I've heard personally from a lot of Liberians that they're disappointed. He haven't met their expectations, but I know that it's life. Not everybody's going to be satisfied with your work. However, as a president, even if you cannot meet everybody's expectations, you should at least make an opening that people will see that you're doing something that is, if not today, tomorrow they would expect better. But if they're completely disappointed, then what are they looking forward to? And so because of that, I'm sitting and thinking, how did a lot of those people, how are all these people in the streets right now, and they were campaigning and they were jubilating and they were saying they want President George Weah to go back into office and be, go for another 6 years. And when they are the same people who are complaining that the country is hard, they do not have jobs, they're struggling in all of these things. I'm finding it difficult to understand how are all these people in the streets and they're jubilating and they want President George Weah to go back, but they're almost the same people who are complaining that the country is hard and they want to change. It's not adding up to me, Nathan.
This is not a old situation in Liberia.
Yeah.
It would really not make sense to you. You would try to really understand it because the same group of people you see in the Unity Party or the ANC T-shirt will be the same faces you will see with the Coalition for Democratic Change.
Exactly.
Some of these crowd, for me, I always say that I am not moved by crowd because we saw that during previous election. Kennedy Sandy, he came for the presidency. We saw the multitudes of people. He came the bottom of election. Vani Sherman during election when he ran for president, we saw the multitude of people. So I am not moved. History has proven over and over again that crowd do not always favor you where you want to be. Now, you will see people are less basic. People are hustling. If you were or ANC or you were or the Broom Tier 1 Gonglo and you say, hey Nathan, what are you doing? I just sitting at home. Oh, I'm come there, we'll give you $5 get on the bus, $5 US.
Okay.
To get on the bus. And you would definitely, because if I sit home, first I don't have data. Okay, I'll get that $5. However, if I don't go with Joanne, I won't have nothing. So I have not moved by crowd. Like you were saying, not everyone is against President Weah. Some people, they say based on where you sit, they feel that, hey, this man can redeem us because they are benefiting from the national cake. But my point is, what are the majority saying? What platform is this government preaching? What platform will the opposition preach? Can we give Joseph Human Boaga our national key? Can we give Alexander B. Cummings our national key? What characteristics, what personality do they present? What platform, what anxiety or vision do they have for Liberia? Then we look at what have they done for our country. So when I look at all of them, it's hard because everyone has their bots. Their bots, right? So that's why we as journalists, we don't make that decision. We look at everything.
And talking about crowd, Nathan, let me add just the last weekend, not this weekend past, but the weekend before, the Unity Party Minnesota chapter had a convention here in Minnesota with former Vice President Joseph Yumon Boakai, and there were a lot of people there. And so I'm saying, I was looking at the people who attended our program, and I was like, are these people actually going to go to Liberia to vote for him, or are they just sitting here and gathering and showing support or just collecting funds? Because I know a couple of weeks before that they had a fundraiser and they were trying to raise funds, but are they actually going to Liberia? Are those people purchasing tickets to go to Liberia to vote for this person, or are they just going to sit here in the US? And because we're talking about crowds, everywhere you go, you see people are showing up for their own candidates. But are those people really going to go to the polls on elections day and make that decision?
It's hard to determine. There's something called influence, right? I said right here, I have maybe you have 10 persons.
Yes.
Right. So they will assure you, but when they get, that's why the voting is why it's secret, right? They will assure you everything, but when they get there, it's different. We saw that in other districts, right? Wherein you will see about 50% registered at this center, right? And all of that, the show of maybe we saw that with few other candidates who live in the community, and even the household who live in the household could not even account for that center they claim they voted to.
Yeah.
So when they get in that, there are a lot of issues. Another thing would be the people sit in America, they have influence. Their family members,
exactly,
and stuff. But again, they will not control when they get in the ballot
I
box.
know.
So
I was
they were
listening.
there.
I was listening to somebody the other day telling one of the family members, "If you do not vote for this person, I'm not sending you for money anymore because
That's
you
wrong.
know." And not just that. My thing is, even if that person would
Say
say, "Yes, I will go and vote," you're not behind
and
them.
be
You're
all in
not
the t-shirts and the
exactly.
Facebook page.
You're not going to go behind the shields on elections day, and you're not going to follow this person to see whom they're voting for. So there's no need of threatening this person. The only thing you can do actually is present your candidate and say, look at what this person is capable of doing. Look at what this other person have done or what they're doing, and see um which one do you think can actually make a difference? Which one do you think Liberia needs at this time, instead of just sitting and just threatening people? Because a lot of people here in the diaspora, I think that's what they've been doing to families back home, and it's bad. Because no matter what, Liberia is for all of us. We all have our rights. We should be able to ascertain our rights and make our own decisions, and within voting for whoever we want to vote for. Because at the end of the day, it is our own conscience that we have to answer to. We have to say, well, I was the one who made this decision, and it's upon me to go back and rectify it. I was the one who voted this person, and now that they're messing up, it's my fault that my family are going through what they're going through right now because I made this decision. And so it's upon me now to go and make that change. I have to go and make that difference. I have to go and correct the mistake that I made previously. But if you're trying to use influence, if you're trying to use that, it's almost as the same as a politician using that person and saying, you know what, I'm going to give you X amount of dollars. I'm going to give you about $20 to go and vote for me, and all of those other things. And then we sit down and talk yada yada yada, and all of those extra stuff, and say we do not want this, we want to change it, but we're still influencing people's votes.
That's why the parable says, if you do not vote, you get the government you deserve.
Exactly.
And if you do, you never get the result you expected. So
I'm gonna take that. I'm taking that one. I like that one. I'm taking
it.
it.
We see it in Africa, we've seen that. That's why it's important that every stakeholder within our society, all of our society, start to put keen attention on our election process, because there are pockets of violence, right? We still was the election. You have seen that it's been all on social media. People told in Castate, Joseph Imon-Borga, the candidate for the Unity Party.
Yes, I did see that.
Showing jobs. These are things that are not called for within our democracy.
Exactly. It's petty. It's disrespectful. We're talking about a civilized environment. We're talking about change. We're talking about betterment, but we're the same people who are putting those things in the streets. What does that say about Liberia and Liberians? I saw a lot of videos with young people who having caskets on their shoulders, and they're going around the streets, and they're in the capital city doing something like that. Um, Liberia being the oldest country in Africa, we are supposed to, at this point in time, we're supposed to be the ones that people look up to, for change, for progress. We're supposed to be the ones that people will point to and say, I want to go to Liberia to see for vacation. I want to see something different. But at this time, Liberians, we are still doing these same old things that aren't even benefiting our lives. I saw young people with caskets, and it's frustrating to see those kind of things, because we are talking about change. We are talking about betterment of Liberia. How is having a casket on your shoulder a campaign, a way of a form of running campaign that you are proud of, and you're having it, and you're talking about this person is dead and this person is going to be dead, and so this person should not be, be running for the presidency. It's sickening. That is no way to campaign. There are a lot of things you can do to put your candidate forward. There are a lot of things. I know it's a part of politics that you want to defame your opponent. You might want to say things to at least discourage people from voting against them. But having a casket on your shoulder, how does that help your candidate in any way? And I believe our candidates, our current aspirants, should be the ones shaming these behaviors. They should be condemning these behaviors, because if your partisan is in the streets and is having a casket of somebody's on their shoulder, that does not print a good picture of you. That does not, for me personally, I am not going to see an aspirant, a candidate who's encouraging their partisans to get in the streets with caskets on their shoulders, and even think anything else for that particular candidate. Because at that point, I believe you have a mindset of destruction. If you're wishing death on someone else, and that is that is no way a leader should be. That is no way somebody who is a leader should be. If you're a leader, you should be one to at least set an example. You should be ones who lead people in positive directions. I get it. It's campaign time. There are a lot of things you want to do so that people will go against your opponents. But using that form of campaign strategy is a form of destruction. It's sadness. You're wishing death on another person, and it's sickening. I saw that thing, and I was really mad that our young people, whom are supposed to be future leaders, are doing this kind of thing, and only because they want to seek they want to see good graces. They want to be in the good graces of those politicians, and they want those politicians to favor them. And you, because of favor, you're putting yourself in this position. What if that candidate do not win? What happens to you? What happens to the relationship you've built with other people? Are you going to have the face to look up at that person and say, hi, how are you doing? Because at the end of the day, we're all going to, we're all going to be in Liberia. We're going to see one another. You're not going to see this person and just, bow your head and pass, because, well, you've already created enmity with you and this person. And at this point, we should not be running those kind of campaigns.
Exactly. To handle yourself, use your head.
Yeah.
To handle others, use your heart.
Oh my, Nathan, you're telling me all these quotes today. All these quotes today, I'm really enjoying them. I'm liking them. I think they're important right now. These are things like, I think these are quotes we should be repeating on this show every day, so that it will stay in the minds of our young people who are currently in Liberia, who are going to be voting during these coming elections. These are reminders that they need, because if you're going to let somebody influence your vote, it means you do not actually want the change that you're asking for. If you want to change, you should be able to sit down and compare and contrast those who are contesting currently. Look at those people and say, who's actually competent right now to bring the change that Liberia needs? As a Liberian, I want to see this particular thing happening in the next 2 years. And whom do I think it's more, who do I think is in that position actually right now? It's more experienced. Actually, in whom is able to bring that change currently, that we're going to see a difference in Liberia, in our economy, in our educational system, in our health system.
You want to preach now,
yeah.
Because there are a lot of issues when you start naming them.
Exactly.
We call it ceremony. I forgot the word, but it's compound complex. I mean, you can't, when you learn sentences, simple sentence, compound sentence.
Yeah, it's complex. Liberia,
it's compound
complex. But it should not be that way. Actually, it should not be that way.
That's why leadership comes in. Leadership is leading your people, motivating them to do that positive things.
Yeah.
So we will sit there and keep saying the same thing over and over if those in authority do not have that leadership ability. Leadership is a God-given thing. That intuition, that anxiety, things that you sit, it may look black, but what is the outcome of this black?
Yeah.
Should I accept this? Just accept it.
And you have that urge in you, like that little voice reminding you that this decision is in the right one.
That's the heart.
Yeah.
That's why the thing says to handle other people, other things, use your heart.
Exactly.
My heart telling me that this person will be X, Y, Z. You gotta use your heart. But for you to handle yourself, you gotta use your head.
Yeah.
So that's why our people need in Liberia. We need leaders who are selfless. We need leaders who have the country at heart, not for flamboyancy, or not to give us 25 kg bag of rice with the aim of profiteering from our national covers. We have seen people who have preached on a lot of things that they will be great. When they come to power, it's the other way around. So this election, as we mentioned, Joanne, we need to ensure that people we elect, or people from the senator, as time goes on, we inform our audience, those who are vying for different positions, some of the old names are coming back. Some people, like you say, you don't even know that they're marks. Some people who've been in America and not having the footprint in the villages, in the towns, they want to go represent the people. What are the aims? So in Liberia, we don't scrutinize people, we don't do background check. So our election, our system is quite different, and we hope that hey, that's don't happen.
Okay, Nathan. Right before we go into our next segment, yeah, we're going to take a short break and get in some commercials from some of our sponsors here on Diaspora Talk. If you're following us, this is Diaspora Talk on KMTV. My name is Joanne Adeprow, and I'm here today in studio with my colleague Nathan Charles. And we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Let your celebration begin with Park Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned liquor store in the city of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We have everything that you need to set that special occasion or bride. For your next party or great get-together with friends, visit Park Liquor Outlet. We have great selection of beer, wine, gin, and many more at affordable prices. Our customer service will make you always want to come back. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Park Liquor Outlet, your one-stop celebration store. We are located at 6315 Zine Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Visit us today and feel the difference.
Okay, we're back from that commercial break here.
And thanks to Park Liquor Outlet of Jackson, George, for always sponsoring the Diaspora Talk. And we also have other sponsors. The Mama T's African Kitchen in Brooklyn Park is the sponsor of the Diaspora Show. The Brooklyn Chiropractic Medical Institution is also sponsoring the Diaspora Show, as well as the Nathan Charles Insurance Company also sponsoring the show. For all of your best insurance need, contact us on 816-433-979, and we'll be glad to help you with your auto commercial policy that you need.
Alrighty. Before we went in, we initially talked about discussing this issue with the Sierra Leone former police chief who was released. I've been trying to go find this story. I haven't quite gotten my hand on it yet.
Yeah, so Mohammed, it was a big situation as you go over your story, but I can just inform our audience.
Yeah.
In Liberia, it was a big story there in Liberia that the former police chief of Sierra Leone, he has been residing in Liberia since last year.
Yeah.
And it was confirmed that he was picked up and by security apparatus taken to the central prison, the police headquarters, and the Sierra Leone government was requesting him because they believe that Mohammed, the Sierra Leone chief superintendent, former Sierra Leone chief superintendent of police, Mohammed Toure, was involved, allegedly linked to a coup against the current government, and he and other people were dismayed. Some escaped, some resigned. So they believe that yes, they want him, but he was residing in Liberia, and there was a big discussion ongoing as to whether the government of Liberia should turn him over. So this story from our reporter here says the following preliminary investigation in Liberia, and giving the assurance of the government of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Sierra Leone, that the rights of the accused will be respected, including his rights to free, fair, and speedy trial. The government decided it was appropriate to hand over Mr. Toure to the government of Sierra Leone as requested by the authorities in that country. So indeed, Toure has been turned over to the Sierra Leone government by the Liberian government. The Liberian government stated that the decision was also in line with the 1994 ECOWAS convention.
Right.
That's why the government of Liberia is claiming. And also, this story also says the government dismissed a session made in Tuesday's publication of a local newspaper quoting the movement for progressive change, Hopeful Senior Firma, as saying that, okay, that's another thing. Yeah, but indeed, it is confirmed that he was turned over to the Sierra Leone government. So we hope that this was done in accordance with our laws and the laws of ECOWAS.
That's why I was concerned about this initially, Nathan, because the mere accusations of planning a coup against the current leadership is not something to overlook. Liberia have already been through a lot, over 14 years of civil war. We were in Liberia, and we saw what we went through with our families and how many persons lost their lives. And so a coup coming now is not something to overlook because it could definitely lead to war. Nobody's going to sit down in place or in leadership and hear about something like that and overlook it. So I was concerned, like, how much investigation did our people do before turning it? Okay, I understand that we do have this union, and so we have to respect it because we are as people say, Liberia and Sierra Leone are like brothers and sisters. But how much investigation did our people do before letting this person go? And why was he in Liberia for so long? I get that. He could have been in Liberia for so many different reasons. There are tons of reasons he could give for which he was in Liberia. But why did our people think that he was suddenly there for a coup and decided to just let him go?
Well, so according to information that I'm reading here from the Independent National Commission on Human Rights, Councillor Dempster Brown, he raised series of issues. He said if there are reasons that this Mohammed should not be turned over to Sierra Leone because he believed that his rights, right, the nature of the trial is more of politics.
Okay.
And the current government is the accuser, right? And he will be tried in that country. So if he was given another fair country to try, right, they'll believe that it will be fair enough for him. So also to Dempster Brown is saying that Liberia's commitment to the 1969 AOU Convention, the 1951 UN Refugee Convention, and the African Charter of Human Rights and People Rights of all these are things must be abide by. So we don't know what's on which ground government allow, but what I read from that story is that they said based on assurance. I think it was so weak.
It is indeed,
because I'm hunting Joanne. And I would say, oh yeah, I will protect her, right? And this and that. That's the assurance there.
And I think if they did not have enough evidence before, they shouldn't have even arrested this man in the first place. Because under no condition can you accuse somebody of planning a coup, and then a coup did that, and arresting them, and after just a day or two letting them go without anything concrete, because as you said, there were a show investigations.
Preliminary. Let me repeat again. Preliminary investigation in Liberia. I mean, they said they did the investigation.
Liberia they did their own investigation
for the call logs of Mohammed. Then and giving the assurance of the government of Liberia. I was giving the assurance of the Republic of Sierra Leone that the rights of the accused will be protected. It's on that ground. It turned over the ex police.
So where is Liberia's own investigation is what I'm concerned about, because at the end of the day, if Sierra Leone say that they did not find anything fishy about what this person was doing in Liberia, what's going to happen to this case? Or what if they actually do discover that this is true and that he was actually planning something like that? What's going to happen then?
What he going to be tried according to the Sierra Leone law? Those who are
can we actually believe or accept that this is going to happen? Because
a free fair trial for him, and once you seek asylum in another country, you are protected on an ECOWAS. So we don't know what happens ECOWAS stand on this. We have been checking to see if there's a statement from ECOWAS since his release, but I just found that piece on Councillor Dempster Brown. And these are things we'll also delve into more, because when people seek asylum, when people flee a country because they feel they have been haunted by another government, they need to be protected under some convention. It's just like when people leave Liberia, right, and come to the U.S. and feel that the rights they will be haunted. And once the government of the U.S. believe that it's more political and it's highly political, a government, and it's a coup and stuff like that. So can we do more investigation? Can we know? Can we follow all of the T's? So we hope that our government, our legal practitioner, did the right thing, advise the government rightly that hey, it's the right thing to do, and they have more substantial evidence, like call logs or text messages to validate the information. So if they have these things, well, that be it. But as far as I'm concerned, it happened so hastily. And one thing I noticed, Joanne, that was not more professional up to this time. The government has not said a word. The press union of Liberia has not said a word. I saw on other platform a Liberian journalist's phone was vandalized by a Sierra Leonean officer. It's all on Facebook. Up to this time, nobody have opened them up. Maybe they're waiting for the United Nations or the US Embassy to say something before they come in to say something.
That's one thing about Liberia. Liberians, we allow people to take these disadvantages of us, and we wait for other people to come to our aid before we can do anything. We do not take stand on our own. It's I don't know why that happens a lot with Liberians, but we barely see our own people step up for us. This is especially our Liberian journalists. Phone being taken away back, even if it's not a foreigner.
He snatched.
But if it should not even be happening. The press is supposed to be protected. It is our right to report on the issues. So if I am actually doing my job, it's not in your place to be, snatching away the phones or the cameras. However, this was Liberia. These things happen and nothing happened. Nothing come out of them.
Yeah, but we should not allow that, and the rights of everyone should be protected, including journalists who cover issues. You cannot be a foreign security apparatus and go in another country and abuse another person.
Exactly.
So that's not right.
Okay. Alrighty. So until we are back here again, you've been watching and listening to Diaspora Talk on KMTV. We are broadcasting live here from Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. I have been your presenter here today. My name is Joanne Adeprausier, and I've been in studio with my colleague Nathan Charles. We're on every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You can follow us around the same time. We come on at 12 noon. And we really appreciate you following the show. We are here. We discuss issues concerning Liberia in Liberians here within the diaspora and in Liberia as well. Thank you so much for following, and you do have yourself a pleasant day.
Let your celebration begin with Spark Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned liquor store in the city of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We have everything that you need to set that special occasion or bride. For your next party or great get-together with friends, visit Park Liquor Outlet. We have great selection of beer, wine, gin, and many more at affordable prices. Our customer service will make you always want to come back. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Park Liquor Outlet, your one-stop celebration store. We are located at 6315 Zine Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Visit us today and feel the difference.